Hi, I'm Jim Knotts, President and CEO of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Fund. Welcome to today's virtual reading of the names. 2022 marks the 40th anniversary of the dedication of the Vietnam Veterans Memorial in Washington, D.C. As part of our commemoration, we'll host an in-person reading of the names at the wall from November 7th through 10th, 2022, when all 58,281 names on the wall will be read aloud. In the lead up to that event, we'll be reading names each day online while sharing the photos of these heroes. For our daily virtual reading, the names of the service members will be read by month and day of death between the years 1956 and 1975 in alphabetical order for the given day. We apologize in advance for any mispronunciations. Know that our readers are doing their best to honor these service members. We hope you'll listen and watch each day and share with others as we remember and honor those who gave their lives during the Vietnam War.
Robert Joseph Acalado, Emmett Colin Adams, Michael Drew Adams, Arfian Clifford Ali, James Otis Allen, James Albert Anderson, Michael Allen Andrews, John Anthony Baffiel, John Frank Baranowski, Ronnie O. Bigelow, Daniel Roger Bowden, Lossie Franklin Bone, David Russell Bosworth, Charles E. Bovinet, Jr., Robert Ray Boyle, Donald Jean Brandt, Thomas Edward Bromley, Elmo Burney, Jr., Alan Clarence Burtness, Edward Clark Caldwell III, Raymond Earl Carpenter, Leonard James Chislock, Quentin Lee Christensen, Christopher L. Clearwaters, Alberto Colon, Gerald William Connor, Joe Michael Copeland, Dennis Ray Kripe, Ray D. Cropper, Thomas Ray Daniels, William A. Davison, Jr., Marvin Andrew DeVault, Carlos Martinez Delgado, Thomas Manuel Dillard, Thomas Anthony Eckel, Norman Elliott, Jr., Alexander Fedorov, Warren John Ferguson, Jr., Kenneth Lloyd Fetter, Richard Anthony Filiator, Manfred Willie Fitzgerald, Peter Thomas Fitzpatrick, Raymond Sylvester Ford, William Thomas Frank, Richard Barrel Frazier, Marshall Ray Frizzell, Ernest Wayne Gajdosic, Joseph Thomas Gallagher, John Lawrence Gambrell, Dennis Albert Gilliland, Armando Abel Gomez, Russell Clemenson Goodman, Herschel Harry Goff, George W. Graves III, Jeffrey Wallace Green, James Walker Guest, Charles Richard Gatilla, William Clyde Hagerich, James Madison Hamrick, Jr., Larry Edward Hand, Edward Lamont Handy, Stephen Michael Hansen, Dexter Dwayne Harbor, Jerry Bruce Harris,
Jimmy Lee Harvin, David Neil Head, Michael Leo Heller, Stephen Hernandez, Donald Lee Herndon, Jose Babauta Herrera, Stephen Lewis Hester, Kenneth Lee Higgins, Reggie Westel Henson, David Allen Hockett, Daniel John Homan, Jeffrey Lynn Holbrook, Daniel Holcomb, Robert H. Holloway, Frank Robert Howe, John Clark Hunter, Alakai Jeremiah, James Alvin Johnson, Enoch Johnson, Randolph Leroy Johnson, Robert Wayne Johnson, Floyd Ray Johnson, Jimmy Douglas Jones, Dennis Earl Joy, Ernest Lee Kaufman, Richard Joseph Kelly, John Edward Kearns, Lonnie E. King, Dennis Dwayne King, David Glenn King, Victor Joseph Colbeck, Brian Wallace Kong, Bruce Stephen Laporte, Michael Thomas Lacoste, Richard P. Lancaster Jr., Ishmael Laureano Lopez, Guy Eugene Lee, Nicholas Paul Ligamari, Leslie E. Livingston III, Donald James Lozano, Chester George Lyons, Benjamin Kiali Malabe, William Walter Malone, Albert Martin, David Murray May, John Edward McCarthy, Glenn Weldon McCarty, Myron McClellan, Billy Jack McClure, Jerome Lomack McCormick, Ronald J. McCoy, Michael Joseph McGinnis, Charles Michael Medley, Dennis Stephen Michael, Rudolph Micah, Marvin Leo Miller, Leon Abner Miller, Andrew Lee Mills, Michael George Moharamoff, Scott Ferris Moore Jr., David Lloyd Morehouse, James Edward Murray, Carl Naka Jr., Larry Douglas Nesbitt, David Philip Neisler, Terry Y. Ogami, Galen Eric Olson, Eddie Van Oliver Jr., Alfred Richard Olson, Alan Edwin Olson, John Michael Oshusky, Larry Dale Palmer, Richard Eugene Parker, Vincent Bertram Parkhurst, Roy Brown Parsons, Michael Philip Pellegrino, Donald Dwayne Philbeck, Michael W. Picard, Roger Lee Pfeiffer, Daryl Warren Ant Pointer,
Thomas Allen Porter, Arnold W. Price, John Vernon Ron, John Eric Reed, John William Robbins, David Allen Rogers, Gary Earl Rogerson, Junior Floyd Ronger, Clyde Dean Root, Larry Thomas Ross, George William Rushing, James Robert Rutledge, Pedro Santos Pinedo, Charlie Kenneth Skates, James Kenneth Schmoll, Thomas Emmings Smith, Terry Lee Smith, Herbert Hollis Stomper, Sam William Stewart, Larry Douglas Stice, Harold Sullivan, George Thomas Taft Jr., Bobby Ray Talton, Clyde Benjamin Tatnall, David Thornton Taylor, Stephen Paul Dewey, Paul Richard Urban Jr., Ronald Michael Urbanski, David N. Valerio, Richard Dewey Bick, Alfredo Julian Villanova, Walter Earl Vondercheck, Don Hamuel Ware, James Harold Walk Jr., Raymond D. Wyand, Carol Leon Welty, James Larry West, Wayne Allen Wharton, Howard Williams, Robert Lee Wilson, Michael Wilson, William Wayne Wood, Larry David Wood, Albert Clarence Woods Jr., Carrie Lee Wooten, Thomas Edward Wynne, Alan Calvin Yeomans III, Joseph Paul Zale, Victor Zaragoza, Thomas Howard Zener, Gordon F. Zimmerman.